Yeah, let's see. What do we know about you? You're born and bred in Tennessee.
Yeah.
All right. One of the few. You lived out in California for a while. You and your wife?
Yeah, we took a little before this kind of really started going. We went out there for my wife's brother's wedding, and so we got to take a road trip down the PCH. Hence the song "Blue Tacoma," and that honestly is where the inspiration for that song came from. Was our time off, in California.
And the hit you're most known for right now, yours. A lot of people think, oh, Russell Dickerson, he's that overnight success guy. Talk about how much time elapsed from when I was surprised that you actually you could remember the date that you wrote that song, and then it finally goes to #1 and stays for a couple of weeks. But talk about that time period from writing it to seeing it finally hit #1.
Yeah, as soon as the song was going #1, I was like, I kind of wanted to go back and just dig back into that moment. Like hear the iPhone recording of what we wrote, and so I was going back and I was like, I knew it was early in the year. I knew it was like January or February, and so I pull up the email, and this was the day it went #1 was January 22nd of 2018. And so I pull up the email, and it was January 24th, 2014 that we wrote the song. 2 days off from the exact day, 4 years. And so it's been a journey, man, because it's one of those you got to believe in yourself moments of I knew that this song was a big song, and regardless of if it ever made it to the radio or not, like I knew that I had written an awesome song, and because there's so many times where I didn't write awesome songs, and I was like, yeah. So this one, you could just tell, like this one felt different. It just felt special. I kept listening to it over and over again, and so from that moment, I was just like, no matter what it takes, I'm going for it. I'm just putting all my chips on this one song, all in, literally roulette. And so going all in on this song, and it took almost two and a half years to get even just a record deal. And but before that, we were just like, hey, you know what? We're just going to do this on our own because everybody else said no. All the labels said no. And we're like, all right, well, here we go. We're just going to I literally created my own record label to put that song out. And it started very small, very humbly, but just as any kind of viral thing, it builds and it snowballs and keeps building and building, and wedding after wedding, and before we even signed a record deal, I think we had already sold 120,000 copies.
I was going to say that song actually made a list for the best wedding songs of the summer, which to me, and I don't know if it's just because, being girly, but that's a huge accomplishment. I mean, that's like Ed Sheeran level.
Yeah.
Do you feel that way?
Oh, yeah. I mean, that song for, if y'all know what The Knot is, it's like this huge source for weddings, and they, I think multiple years in a row, called it the #1 wedding song that their people use.
Did you not actually surprise somebody at their wedding?
Yeah, we did. Well, there's, we get call and emails all the time just to come play weddings, and I wish we could, but there was there's one time, it's the only time this has happened, which is why we did it. We were in the same city on the same day, and my set was at like 4 p.m. And so their wedding wasn't until like 5 or whatever. And so by the time we came off stage, got, dressed and put on our wedding clothes, and it was like 3 miles away. So we could Uber there and no problem. And so that was the only time that had ever happened that it lined up that perfectly. And so I was like, you know what? I could sit on the bus and, watch a movie, but why don't we make some memories tonight? And got my guitar and literally snuck into their wedding. And we were like, we walked up, we found the wedding planner, and we were like, hey, we got the invite, thank you. We're here, and we want to surprise them with the first dance. And so literally I was just like, the DJ had one of these cables that was like this long. And so I was like standing next to the DJ booth and like just having a microphone, and it was just like total spur of the moment, and we just made it happen. It was cool.
That's funny because most wedding planners are pretty anal.
Yeah,
and everything's down. So you're interrupting that plan What was their
Yeah.
initial reaction? Was
Well, they knew that was their song. That was their first dance, and they knew who I was. And so, yeah, it was just we just kind of. I get what you're saying though, but no, they were super cool, and they just like it was a really special moment.
now the video for that? What road is that? I assume it's in Tennessee.
Yeah, it's in Nashville.
In Nashville.
It's in West Nashville by the private airport out there.
Okay, if you haven't seen it, Russell's basically walking down this road. It looks like a pretty busy road, actually, but there are no cars, of course, and it's about to rain. All right, so did you plan that, or was it like, we better get this done quick?
We were like, and then we're like,
Oh, there's lightning going off in the background. When I was first watching, I was thinking, are those special effects? No, that's real
no,
lightning,
it's real.
isn't it?
Yeah, yeah. So the whole budget, well, there was no budget, because we had no money, no label or anything. Like I said, we did it on our own. So we call it the $6 music video, just on the gas money that we spent driving up and down that road for an hour and a half.
And who's your camera person?
My wife. Yeah. So my wife shot this music video. She's done all my album cover shoots and obviously the Yours video. And yeah, she was sitting in the back of my SUV with the hatch open. So when it started raining, she was covered. I mean, just like this tripod right here, set up in the back of my SUV, and I'm just walking down this road, and there's a tornado warning in Nashville at the time. So our friends are calling us. So I've got my phone plugged into the stereo to hear the song to sing to, and they keep calling, and it keeps interrupting the song. They're like, because we have a basement, and they're like, we're coming over to your house. There's a tornado warning, da-da-da-da. And we're like, stop calling. We're shooting a music video out here.
That's hysterical. And if you've ever been back in the Midwest or back east, those things are very real.
Oh, yeah. Very
When
real.
you get a tornado watch, it's like, okay, the conditions are right. When you get a tornado warning, it's like, we saw one, take cover.
Yeah.
And you're out there in the middle of a warning.
Yep. Hey, we made it.
Did your mom teach you any better?
She did. I just had to, we had a music video to shoot.
Yeah.
Have you gotten the Tacoma endorsement yet?
Working on it. I'm working on it.
Nice.
Yeah, seriously. I mean, why not? Swing the bat and maybe you'll.
Have you played Tacoma, Washington yet?
I think we have, because I remember it being.
Smelly.
I just remember it being like the Tacoma, and my favorite is when we do Colorado, and I change it to Silverado, and change it accordingly to
Nice.
wherever we are. Malibu,
Also a
Chevy
truck.
Malibu.
Also, right, Chevy Malibu, Silverado truck. There you
Yeah.
go.
Yeah.
Do we have any questions for Russell? Or would
Come
you
on,
just-
guys.
Would you like to hear
Love
him?
the Disney hat.
We all love Disney around here.
Oh yeah.
I
My
have a
wife
random
is-
question about your tattoos. Are those real?
Oh yeah, no.
Because I was gonna say, what is this on your arm here?
These are temp tats. I wish I was that cool.
Oh, you're killing it.
We were
What does
just.
it
I was
even
just on a.
say?
It says Sugar Shack.
Oh, Sugar Shack. Okay.
So we were just on a riding retreat in 30A, like down in the Panhandle of Florida, and had a few glasses of wine. And we looked, and they're like, the ice cream shop closes in like 5 minutes, so we all hop on our bikes right over there, and we're just loud and obnoxious. And I just pick up these tattoos, and I'm like, "Are these free?" And so I just started putting them all over my arm. Yeah, there's no significance at all. It's just me being stupid.
How long ago was that?
Like 3 days.
Every tattoo does have a story, and that's one of the
That's
worst
right.
ones I've
yeah,
heard.
Exactly.
actually.
Maybe I should get a real one just tattooed over this.
They
It was a
held up
special
well.
time. It was a special time at the Sugar Shack. Yeah.
Just one other question, real quick, because this is being streamed live on Facebook. And
Oh, nice.
Your story is such a story of determination and believing in yourself. What would you say to somebody who's an aspiring artist who's watching this morning or this afternoon? What would you tell them?
Don't do it. It's. I'm kidding. No. It's really hard. It's way harder than I ever expected, but it's the most rewarding thing I've ever done. And so if that's, if this is your one thing, you have to have one thing. There can't be a plan B, because you'll fall back on it too easy when it gets hard. And so, yeah, that's what I would say. There's no room for a plan B. So if this is your only plan, then go for it. Don't stop. Keep going, and maybe you'll end up with a hit or two.
How validated do you feel, though, when that song 4 years later goes to number one, and you know that that's your money, that's your sweat, that's your belief, and I have to imagine along the way there were some people going, hey, maybe not. Let's go do this over here. And you
Right.
said there's absolutely no way that you're going to leave this.
Yeah.
So-
I mean, it is. I mean, I definitely walk a little taller as a songwriter, as an artist, just to, I mean, not that I needed that to keep going or to feel confident in myself, but it is very gratifying to be in a new league as a writer and as an artist, for sure.
And talk about being on tour with Lady A and Darius, which is why you're here today.
That's why we're here, and it is so fun, man. They're like instant family. It's and we've already been writing songs. We've already been creating creating new music, and so it's just I feel very respected, like you said. I feel validated as an artist, and feel like I'm able to pull my weight now with a hit under my belt and draw a little bit of a crowd myself.
Charles Kelly loves to golf. Darius loves to golf. Do you golf?
Russell Dickerson, not that good at golf.
Can you drive a cart?
Yes, I can drive the cart and drink the beer for sure.
Perfect.
But I can tell you, Darius called in a couple of days ago. Interview's going along fine, and then we said, well, tell us about the opening act, Russell Dickerson, and he lit up.
Yeah.
He had so many good things to say
He
about
really
you.
did.
So have you gotten to write with him yet?
Not with him. Actually, we were just starting a little song idea for him. So before we left for here, so we're just, and that's why I love it. Like, they're hungry. They still want to make music. They still want to keep creating and keep pushing the boundaries and keep doing that. And so, it really fires me up and gives me hope in the business, because they've been doing it for so long, and I get face-to-face view of what that longevity takes, and what it looks like.